You are live with the App Show. Mike Agerbo here with John Biehler. Got a really awesome show today. Later on in the program, we will be talking about increasing your cell phone signal. I think we all have weak cell phone signals somewhere in our lives, whether that's in our car, whether that's at our house, cottage, cabin. Well, we're going to be answering one of our mailbag questions on how you can actually increase that signal. We'll also be talking with the founder of Sootchy. This is an app launching in the US, coming to Canada soon, we hope, that helps you, I guess, kind of crowdfund your college education savings. I think this is kind of a cool thing. Obviously, a lot of kids get into enormous debt when it comes to spending money on college and university. So this app is trying to help kids alleviate that. And I will be giving, and John as well, our review of the new Shaw mobile cell phone service. This is something that's launched in BC and Alberta. Is it any good? Some great pricing, but how is the coverage? Well, we'll be giving you the lowdown on that. Looking into some of the app news this week, John, some interesting stuff here. Looks like Canadians are burning through the electric vehicle rebate fund like it's fossil fuel.
Yeah.
You just recently purchased one. I purchased my electric vehicle last year. We did take advantage of some of these rebates. I think I got 10,000. You got about 8,000?
Yep. Yeah. The federal rebate program had $300 million earmarked over a 3-year mandate. And they've already gone through 75% of that in under 15 months.
Wow.
Partly because I think EVs, as we all would agree, are extremely popular right now. And definitely one of the compelling factors is when you do the math and you add the rebates to the total cost of buying a car, it's very compelling. It was what swayed me from going with another gas vehicle and to get an electric vehicle. Just because basically the rebates, they cover your taxes and things like that, but it's still like a significant amount of money that you get off the top. So there's a big question about whether or not the government will actually re-top up this program once it does get depleted because of the success of it so far. They've been, basically in a third of the time they've gone through 2/3 of the program. So it's, if my math is correct there, but yeah, it's just a very attractive offer if you're looking at getting a new vehicle.
So far, over 53,000 drivers have taken a piece of that 300 million, which is phenomenal. The two biggest provinces for electric vehicle sales, Quebec and BC. Mm-hmm. And they say that's because those provincial governments offer provincial EV rebates as well. Ontario cut theirs off I think it was last year or the year before. And so electric vehicle sales in that province declined quite significantly. Right now, it only applies to new cars, not used vehicles. Some people are saying that it should be changed to apply to those. And the base cost of the electric vehicle has to be $55,000 or less.
There is some... I think they're provincial rebates for used EVs. It's just not quite as much.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to use the federal one, which is quite significant, $5,000.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate for those people that are looking at a used one. This is something interesting. Sorry, John?
I was just going to say, the interesting thing is the used EV market is quite thriving too. So, it is unfortunate there's not some benefits, but I guess the thought process is that those vehicles have already technically been covered by that rebate at some point when they were new.
Yeah, so I guess you don't want to have double or triple rebates.
Right.
Those. Tesla working on a feature that can detect if children are left in a car. So this is something they're looking to get FCC approval down in the States for, and supposedly using high-powered millimeter wave sensors that would be able to go through the car and see if an actual human being is there, or things like a blanket or bag, which is interesting.
So is it in your own Tesla, or is it in other cars around your Tesla?
So you're wondering if it's bleeding outside of that?
Well, yeah, because I mean, Tesla already has that feature for when you want to leave an animal in the car, you can have the AC on and there's a big screen that says, my dog's okay.
Yeah.
Don't break my window. Although I still wondered why would you do that anyways? Leave your dog in the car, but presumably you can also sense a person like it could an animal and do the same thing, right? Like,
it's interesting because I think Tesla wants to use this feature for more than children. They want to allow it to give better seatbelt and airbag warnings and deployment, because it'll be able to measure like how big the humans are in the seats. So I think by leading with, we're going to help save the children, that there's more of a chance of it getting passed. So we'll be following that story as well. A new floating Apple store, John.
Yeah, this is actually really cool. It kind of looks like a mini science world almost in Singapore.
So this thing is floating. It actually floats in the harbor.
Yeah, it's a big orb and it glows in the dark.
How much money do they have to make these? Like down in Vancouver here at Pacific Center, they're making a new flagship Apple store as well. And I think it's on Howe in West Georgia. You remember that big rotunda there? The glass one?
Yeah.
That's going to be an Apple store. It's going to be insane. It's going to be insane how big it is. So this one is going to be built in Singapore. And yeah, if you get a chance, Google this thing. It's like a giant ball in the water.
It's already there though. It's built.
Yes.
Yeah. It looks really cool.
It glows at night.
Yeah, no, it looks really cool, and there's been lots of interesting photos of it. But again, to me, it just reminds me of a miniature, or it's about the same size, I think, as Science World in Vancouver here.
Don't forget to hit our website. We're giving away a Samsung Galaxy A71 smartphone. Thanks to the folks over at Samsung. This thing is a fantastic phone. It's worth over $500. Fantastic screen, great cameras on it as well. And all you have to do to enter is hit our website. Again, getconnectedmedia.com. Go to our newsletter tab. Yes, we want you to enter and subscribe to our newsletter so we can give you more great news and keep you updated on all the latest audio and video podcasts that we have coming out. But as a reward, we'll enter you into this contest and all the contests going forward here in 2020. Again, getconnectedmedia.com. We're giving away a Samsung Galaxy A71 smartphone. When we come back from the break, we're going to be talking about Shaw Mobile. I've had a chance to use it over the past few weeks. John, you have as well. We'll be giving you our review. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Stay tuned to find out. You are back with the App Show. Mike Agerbo here with John Biehler. Still lots to talk about on today's program. Later on, we'll be chatting with the folks over at Sootchy, an app coming out of the U.S., starting down there, that helps kids and parents and families save for college educations to help take a bite out of those big student loans and debt that a lot of kids have after they finish their post-secondary education. And do you have crappy cell phone service? I think we can all attest to that, and something we might be talking about here shortly. Well, we're going to be talking about some devices that might help alleviate that in your car, your home, and your cabin/cottage. Right now, though, we want to talk about Shaw Mobile. They thundered onto the scene here in Western Canada, finally giving a bit more competition in BC and Alberta in the cell phone market. I think we've been paying some extraordinarily high rates here. I think we all say that because we always want to have cheaper rates. But I think, we've seen in other provinces and, of course, other countries, the more competition you have in the carrier space, the better the pricing is. In Quebec, they have cheaper prices. In the Maritimes, because they have other incumbents there. In Manitoba, up until recently, until Bell bought MTS, Manitoba Telecom. Well, here in BC, Shaw is offering their internet customers some smoking deals on the cell phone service. They're basically building on the back of their Freedom Mobile service. Freedom Mobile they bought from Wind Mobile back a little while ago. And so the rates are incredible. And again, you have to subscribe to particular internet packages that they offer. You can go online and see if you qualify. The rates that caught me, John, right off the bat, one of them, and this worked well for my parents, was the $0 plan.
Who wouldn't want a $0 plan?
Oh, hell yeah. So my parents, they only use talk and text. They're not using data. And so, I tried to find the cheapest plan for them, and I think they were on Chatter. And that was about $20-$25 a month for them. So it was like $40-$50 a month. And so with Shaw, I could get them on these plans. They could port their number over, and they got unlimited talk and text here in Canada for nothing. Of course, have to subscribe to the Shaw internet service. But if you're already doing that, $0, it's a hell of a deal. You signed up for that.
I did. Yeah.
And they right now are giving away 1 gigabyte of data free when you sign up. There is a cost. It's $20 to sign up for first time. Not a big deal.
Yeah, they call it the activation charge. The SIM cards themselves are actually free. So, but basically the SIM cards SIM cards cost next to nothing, and but they're included in sort of the administration fee for setting it all up.
So, I guess the thing for me, John, if you do want data on that plan, it's only $10 for a gigabyte. And what was appealing is that gigabyte of data will roll over for 90 days.
Which is huge.
Yes.
Because how many times have you come close to, or maybe sometimes you don't even use it all, and then it just is gone. And you paid for that much data, but because you didn't use it within 30 days, you basically wasted it.
So phenomenal. And I'm going to look at switching my wife over, because I've looked at her data usage. I'm paying like $70 a month for her. She's got 15 gigs of data. Do you know what she uses a month? She uses like less than a gig.
Yeah, because she's mostly on her Wi-Fi.
Yeah, a gig. And so if I do the math, that would basically get her on the $0 talk and text plan with 1 gig of data, which is $10 a month. I would go from $70 down to $10.
Right.
I like that, John.
But what's the catch, Mike?
Coverage. So the next one up that I think most people would look at, they've got a $45 and a $55 plan. And so both plans come with 25 gigs of data. But that 25 gigs of data, they say it's 25 gigs of fast LTE data, only works in BC and Alberta. So if you are roaming outside of BC and Alberta here in Canada, you then only have 2 gigabytes of data, of what they call roaming data. And so again, that if you're outside BC and Alberta, automatically you're into that 2 gigabytes of data. Also, if they don't have coverage in certain areas, which we'll get into, you are also roaming on that 2 gigabytes of data. So that's the $45 and the $55 plan. The big difference between the two is that the $55 plan, your roaming can also be extended down into the US and Mexico, which is appealing to a lot of people.
Which we can't really take advantage of right now.
No, it's useless right now. But again, that roaming into the US and Mexico also uses that 2 gigabytes of roaming data. So for a lot of people, that is perfect. I've tried this out for the past few weeks on my personal phone because I really wanted to see what the coverage was like. I would say for the most part, if you were in urban areas like Vancouver, I tried it out in White Rock, most parts of Surrey. I was out into Langley, Port Coquitlam, Burnaby, even Richmond. It worked very well. However,
yeah, well, I had the same experience, and we tried our phones in numbers of different places just to sort of test the coverage, and definitely in the immediate Lower Mainland area, it was as good or better in some cases than my TELUS and your Rogers that we both have, as our primary carriers.
And so the challenge I had, I went to Tofino for a 1-week vacation, did some camping there, and the Shaw coverage did not reach out there. I had challenges on Vancouver Island in a lot of areas, especially going towards Tofino. Once I got in Tofino, Shaw coverage non-existent. And so that means I was roaming on their partner networks, which means that I was then into the 2 gigabytes of data. which
Right.
I blew through like there was no tomorrow.
Well, and to be fair, Tofino and that whole area is not the best serviced area to begin with. You're at the edge of Vancouver Island, you're right by the ocean. There's just not a lot of cell towers and coverage there yet.
No. So overall, I would say if you are in an urban area, it is fantastic value, no question. If you're just doing talk and text, for sure. I mean, you can't beat zero, right? No one can beat zero.
Yeah.
But if you are planning on doing a lot of traveling in Canada, you have to ask yourself, will that 2 gigabytes of data that they've allocated for roaming be enough? You can buy more, but it gets expensive. I had to buy 2 more gigabytes, and it's $15 a gigabyte. So on my trip, I had to add another $30 to get extra data so that I could use my phone. Not everyone's going to go through data like I do.
No, and because the thing is, when Mike takes a vacation, he's not really taking a vacation. He's still calling into the office on the Zoom calls and everything else.
Yeah, I'm doing video calls and stuff. So there's no question I'm burning through it like water, like more so than most people. So I think for most people, it would work. So,
I think the key thing though is just to look at the Shaw Mobile on their website. They have a coverage map, and it's very specific about the shade of blue that is what's considered to be in market and sort of in their Shaw network. And then there's a lighter blue that's sort of outside of their network, which is the partner roaming that you talked about. My fiance tried to get her parents set up. They live in Sardis, Chilliwack, which is just east of Vancouver. And there's actually no coverage there whatsoever. It kind of drops off around Abbotsford and out that way. And so they couldn't even take advantage of it. And they would be, like your parents, would be the perfect candidate for that.
So a footnote to the story, John, I got a call from Rogers. I still have a couple of accounts on there for my family, but I took mine off. They phoned me. I guess they're somewhere retention or loyalty program department. And they offered to give me the equivalent 25 gigs of data for $45, the Shaw price. And on top of that, they would give me a free tablet.
Which tablet?
A ZTE tablet. So make no mistake, it's not like a high-end iPad or anything. Thing's
Right.
probably only worth like $100. But so anyway, I'm still looking at and considering it because obviously Rogers and the other guys, they have better networks right now.
Yeah, that was the thing that I did. I actually downgraded. I had the $45 a month plan as a trial, and then I downgraded to the $0 plan because that I travel too much out of those markets, and I don't want to be roaming and having to pay extra. But it's really interesting though, because like you said, you kind of have to do the math. If you're going to be out of those areas a lot, what's the cost going to be on a monthly basis? I'm paying $75 a month on TELUS for 20 gigs, basically unlimited data. If I'm only paying $45 on Shaw and I need to add $30 for roaming for extra gigs that I might need when I'm out of market, I'm still in the same boat, but I have other benefits as well, right?
Yeah. So I have to say overall, in my opinion, it's fantastic value. If you're in an urban area and you're not doing a lot of traveling, no question. If you can save yourself anywhere from $30 to $50 a month, depending on your current plan with one of their competitors, like hell yeah, it's good.
There was one thing that did annoy me about the whole process. You're already a Shaw customer. You have to be to get this deal. The regular price is like $85 for the $45 plan. You go into your favorite store to buy it because you have to do this in store. You can't do it online. Shaw will actually do a credit check on your account, even though you're already a customer that they already trust. And so that's just a word of warning, because the same time I was buying my new car was when I had to get a credit check for that. So I had 2 credit checks that's literally the same week. Yeah. And it's just like, they're not the good kind of credit checks. They're like the ones that actually could potentially have an impact on your credit rating.
I wonder if that's because they're probably using the Freedom Mobile backend.
Yeah.
Which they own, but is obviously a whole different system than
their systems aren't talking. Yeah. So that's just another little asterisk to be aware of if you're looking at getting this.
We're going to have to take a break. When we come back, how about saving up for your child's college education, crowdfunding it, letting other family members and friends help contribute to your child's education? We'll be talking with David Adefeso. He is the founder and CEO of Sootchy, an app that helps you do just that. Back after this. You are back with the App Show. Mike and John here. Time to talk about college and saving for college. Many students actually go into huge debt through student loans. Well, we're going to talk about an app today out of the US and hopefully coming to Canada soon that helps students save for college so that they don't have to get into all that debt. On the line, we've got the CEO and founder of Sootchy. His name is David Adefeso. Thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You have a really interesting story. Before we even get into what your app is all about, you actually self-funded a Harvard MBA and literally got into over $100,000 in debt after graduating.
Yes. I worked 3 jobs, basically, waiter, accountant, and also as a tutor to save enough money to go to college. Despite that, for 4 years working 3 jobs, I still racked up over $100,000 in debt that I had to pay off. Now, luckily for me, I got into a really good career, investment banking, so I was able to pay it off a lot faster. There are a lot of children out there who can't do that. So many people carry student loans. They carry that debt for 10, 20, even 30 years, and it's a really big burden. As a financial advisor, which is what I've done the last 16 years, one of the biggest problems, one of the biggest weights that many of our parents tell us is the weights of student debt that they still carry.
Well, I guess this transitions into your venture here, Sootchy. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is an app to help, get around that issue of crushing debt. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Of course. Sootchy, the biggest problem, there's 2 problems that student debt, people have with student debt in America. One is people don't know that there's resources available for them to save for college, tax-efficient resources. And so most people save in savings accounts or checking accounts, which are very tax inefficient. The second thing is affordability. The median income in America is $63,000. Average college is over $100,000 per child for a 4-year education. The average person has 2 children. Average family has 2 children. Now, how does a family that makes $63,000 as a household pay over $200,000? Well, they don't. So Sootchy's objective is twofold. One is to raise the awareness, let people know about 529. We're going to have a big awareness campaign. We're going to talk to people like you, to help us get the message out. That's the first thing. It's a very powerful tool. It's tax efficient. It's protected from creditors. That helps you invest and grow. That's the first thing. Awareness. Second thing is affordability. We address that head on by using the power of friends and family to help you save for college. Look at it this way. You have a birthday party for your daughter, and people bring toys, they bring shoes, they bring clothes, they bring dolls, things that eventually the kid tends to destroy or ends up in the pool or the garage or things that are
Or they
down in value.
They don't even use half the stuff.
Or they don't use it. Think of a platform which is Sootchy, where you can take that $20 or $25 or $30 that you spent on the doll, and you can put that into a plan that's going to grow and help your child give what we call the best gift money can buy, an education. That's what Sootchy does.
Well, that's interesting. So friends and family, instead of purchasing, toy cars or video games for the child, they can basically put that money into this app that would eventually go towards their college fund.
Correct. That's exactly what it is. It's a way to channel. We're not asking you to put anything else that you're not otherwise doing. We're asking you to channel money that you would otherwise have given, in the form of a gift. Look at what people traditional, COVID-19 has changed the way people buy gifts now. But before, people get into their cars, they get ready, they jump in their cars, they use gas, they use the wear and tear of the car, they go to Walmart or Target, they pick up a gift, they walk around, wrap it, take it back home, and then take it to the birthday party, and often the kid doesn't like it. In this way, you can stay at home on your computer in your boxer shorts if you wish, and you can send $25. It's very easy. It's very simple. It's very efficient. It wastes less resources. You're not using up carbon. We're reducing our carbon footprint. So it's a very powerful way to channel otherwise wasteful resources into something that's useful for a child.
We're talking all about the Sootchy app today. This is something that's going to be available in the U.S. For folks to help contribute to a child's education fund. Hopefully we can see this coming to Canada soon. So what are the advantages of using the Sootchy app instead of just setting up a checking account and having people just put money into that?
Well, a couple of things. One is tax efficiency. As you know, there's two things that we have to pay. There's two things that you can never avoid. One is death and one is taxes. This Sootchy changes that dynamic a little bit. In a checking account, you have to pay taxes every year, or savings account. With a Sootchy account, when you put money in, that money grows. You put $10 in, it grows by $1 or $1.50, depending on performance. You don't have to pay taxes until you take it out. And even then, if you use it for qualified education expenses, there's no taxes. That's the first advantage. It reduces the amount of taxes that you pay, actually eliminates them. The second advantage is it's protected from creditors. When you have a checking account, God forbid, you get sued for whatever reason, and we have a very litigious society here in the U.S., they can literally take your checking account if you're found liable. With a Sootchy 529 plan, you don't, it's protected from your creditors and the creditors of your child. In addition, it gives you a way to grow your assets a little bit above and beyond the low interest rates that you're currently earning now of less than 1%. You're able to invest it in stocks and bonds in American and strong Canadian companies, the future of those companies. And it's a way to actually engage your children in a way they can actually learn about finances. They can see the stocks, they can see the bonds, they can learn about I have Google and I have Apple, or I have a mutual fund. What's a mutual fund? So it encourages kids to learn about finance and education.
Talking with David Adefeso. He is the CEO and founder behind Sootchy, a great app for helping kids save up for their college education that everyone can participate in, launching in the U.S. And hopefully we'll see something like this in Canada soon. David, I want to thank you for joining us. Where can people find out more information about this?
So go to the website, Sootchy.com. For now, Sootchy.com. In October, it's going to be available in the App Store under Sootchy and the Google Play Store. We look forward to it.
Thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, John.
When we come back from the break, more apps to talk about here on the App Show. Stay tuned. You're back with the App Show. Mike Agerbo here with John Biehler. Don't forget to hit our website, GetConnectedMedia.com. We want you to subscribe to our newsletter because we're giving away a Samsung Galaxy A71 smartphone. You subscribe, you're automatically entered to win this phone and others throughout the year. We're giving away thousands of dollars of prizes. It's so easy. Again, getconnectedmedia.com, hit the newsletter tab, and all the information is there to get you signed up. Let's hit our App Show mailbag, John. What are we looking at this week?
Well, we've got a question about, and we actually had a number of questions about this, especially this time of year. Everyone's heading to the cabin because you really can't go anywhere else. And a lot of people's cabins are in the middle of nowhere, and they're wondering if there's anything they can do to improve their cell service so they can at least stay connected instead of having to go to the top of a mountain that's nearby to get that service.
Yeah, it's an excellent question. And John, we get this all the time. So there are some products out in the market. Ones that I would recommend that I've had some success with would be from SureCall. They're also part of Wilson. They make cell phone amplifiers. And there's a few different kinds. They make ones that can go into vehicles, ones that can go into like an RV, and also ones that you can use in your home or even business. And these things aren't cheap. If you come across something online, some crazy ad saying, hey, we've got a cell phone booster for $50, 9 times out of 10, or I'm going to go even higher, 99 times out of 100, that crap doesn't work.
Isn't just like a sticker that you stick on your phone?
Yeah, remember those?
Yeah.
They don't work.
Copper stickers? Yeah, they don't work. Tinfoil hats work better.
Yeah. So, and let's be clear, these things aren't cheap either. If you want one for your house, you're looking in the $600-700 range, and there's a bit of an installation process. You're going to have to stick an antenna outside of your home, and you're going to have to run that line into your house to the amplifier that basically will amplify the signal in your home. There's some caveats. There has to be at least a weak to good signal outside of the home where you're at. So if you're getting no signal now, these things aren't going to help you. There has to be even like the essence of a weak or good signal outside.
But and that's kind of the rub, though, isn't it? Because you don't, if you're just using your cell phone outside your cabin front door and you're not getting any service. It's interesting, though, if you were to put that big antenna in, and you won't know until you try it, if it would actually get anything, because it just needs to be 10 feet higher or whatever to actually get a signal. But that's also a pretty expensive trial.
It is. So what you want to do, and here's some things to look for. Again, I would look for some of the big names. There's SureCall. They're part of the Wilson Group, the Wilson Amplifiers. And I think the address there is wilsonamplifiers.com. These guys, they offer a 90-day money-back guaranteed, no questions asked. So, yeah, you're going to have to go through a little pain to try to set this thing up. If it doesn't work, at least you have the comfort of knowing you can send it back. They're not going to ask any questions, and you can get your money fully back on it. So if you're looking at any of these type of devices, make sure that there's some type of money-back guarantee. So I have tried these ones before. They seem to work. But that's the challenge, right, John? You just don't know. Like you told me the story about going on a trip down in the US, and they installed one of these cell phone amplifiers in the trunk. But and you don't know if it really worked or not.
No, I mean, we were literally in the middle of nowhere driving through the desert, and this was supposed to be kind of like a plan B, but that wasn't a satellite phone. And you had to basically pair with that device to get it to work. And I don't think it ever actually worked. We never had an emergency that we actually had to utilize it either. So it's hard to tell if it actually did work or not. But there's so many variables too. Like, just think about when you go to your cabin, if it's a bad weather day, that could affect your signal. On a good weather day, that could affect your signal, positive or negative. It's just hard to tell until you're actually there.
John, can you just pick it up? Where you said, if you go to your cabin, because you totally cut out.
Oh yeah. My internet's unstable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go to your cabin on depending on the weather, even can affect how good the signal is. Right. So if it's a bad weather day, that would negatively affect the potential for a signal. Maybe a cloud cover would help it. I don't know. You just won't know until you actually go and try to measure it there and see what kind of service you can get. I think everybody that has a cabin, they kind of know you need to go stand on top of this hill and stand on one foot and hold your phone above your head, and you might get a signal.
Yeah. So unfortunately, you probably won't know for sure until you actually install one of these things. So like I said, they're not cheap. If you find one for $100 that you can put in your house, I can guarantee you it's probably not going to work. No. You're going to have to find one from some of these reputable guys. I would check some of the reviews, like independent reviews on them as well, and make sure that they're also FCC approved. That's the standards body down in the U.S. That checks these things out. And make sure that you can get a money-back guarantee on them as well. And again, they're in Canada here, they're $600-$700, if not more, depending on how much coverage, like how big your space is inside your home or your business. The car ones, it's tricky, John, because you're going through so many different areas. It's hard to tell if they truly work. I've tried them; they seem to work, but I can't really give like a full thumbs up on those.
Yeah, again, I think you just have to try it and see if it helps. But chances are, if you're in a sketchy area, you might have better success just pleading with your carrier to put another antenna in there.
Yeah, does that work?
I don't know.
From my understanding, this works with 3G and 4G networks. I haven't seen any yet that have had some reviews that will take care of 5G networks. So that's something to keep in mind. We are giving away some cool prizes this month, giving away a Samsung Galaxy A71 smartphone. We want you to win. All you have to do, though, is enter our newsletter tab on our website, getconnectedmedia.com. The instructions are up there. You sign up, you are entered to win this and all the contests that we have going forward throughout the year. And again, we're giving away thousands of dollars of prizes. The odds are good. I mean, there's only a few thousand people that are entered into the contest. So better than the lotto, I would say. When we come back from the break, more apps to talk about here on the App Show. Stay tuned. You're back with the App Show. Mike and John here. Just a little bit of time left. John, pretty excited this week. I got my hands on one of the new Samsung Galaxy phones, the Z Flip 5G phone, the one with the folding screen.
It's actually pretty cool.
I love it. If I could switch and if I can hide this from them, I would use it. A lot of times they want the manufacturers want their phone back. So yes, I have to send them back. But so this is a folding screen phone. So it flips up. It almost looks like you remember those folding Nintendo Game Boys?
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like a Game Boy Pocket.
Yeah. But it is beautiful. It's got the Mystic Bronze finish on it. And it's got like this tiny little notification window you can actually scroll through. So it's got like a clock on it, or you can scroll to see if there's any new text messages or Facebook messages. And then you open it up and the screen is a folding LCD screen. It is stunning and it works. And I'm not afraid to fold the hinge in and out.
Yeah. I guess this is the third iteration of folding hinges from Samsung and across a couple different devices.
Yeah.
And it is very satisfying to fold as well. And it fits really nice in your hand and your pocket.
Yeah. What set this one apart to me compared to all the other ones? Because we've tried the Samsung ones. We've tried the Huawei Mate X phone as well. And this one seems solid. Like the other ones. And I'm sorry, I forgot the Motorola Razr.
That's right. Yeah.
Which was so cool. But now comparing it to the Samsung phone, you'd be crazy to get the Motorola one, just for durability standpoint, because you can just feel the Samsung one is solid.
Yeah, but not heavy or clunky or bulky. It actually, I think your analogy is really spot on with the Nintendo Game Boy Pocket. Or it's not the Game Boy Pocket. I forget what they called it, but the folding one.
Yeah.
It looks almost identical. What I really liked is what you mentioned. I was surprised how cool that top little mini OLED screen is that you can actually scroll through. So you don't even have to have the phone open. You can sort of see your notifications. You can swipe left and right on it. And it almost doesn't feel like you're touching anything too, because of the way that the material is that covers it all. It's just very, it's not your typical fingerprint magnet.
It's got a fingerprint scanner built into the screen as well. Camera is excellent. The problem though, John, it's $2,000.
Yeah, that is always the problem.
But if you look at all these other phones right now, like the new Samsung Galaxy Notes, the iPhones, I mean, we're up in the $1,600 to $2,000 range anyway. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it because I think this will fundamentally change the form factors of smartphones in the next 5 years when the price comes down.
I'm still not sold on the screen that needs to be foldable. I'd be just as happy with two separate screens and a hinge that's actually more solid.
Well, time will tell. That's all the time we have left for the App Show today. I want to thank John Biehler and Christina Stoyanova for helping put the show together. We'll see you again next time.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube page. And you know that little bell icon? Hit that and you'll be notified every time we post a new video. And comment. The more comments and the more likes and subscriptions we get, the more videos we can make.